Ghrelin is a quite important hormone that was discovered in 1999. It was one of the, you can call the the sister of leptin. It was discovered by a different group. Initially, it was discovered by a Japanese group, but the spreading out of the knowledge of the hormone as an appetite controller was done mainly by British scientists. This paper here is the core of this set of slides, and it's going to be as well the core of the upcoming slides. All of them has the same idea behind it. The idea is to discuss Ghrelin by excerpts of paper, like parts of paper, or quotation of paper. So I read several papers, and I was challenged to choose a small number of papers, and this was one of the papers that I have decided to choose. So my strategy will be to concentrate on parts of the paper that I have been selected, have highlighted as important to understand the working of Ghrelin. My point of view is mainly mathematical, so for me it's important parts, important information that can give me a starting point for mathematical modeling. So far I have worked on 9 different mathematical models, but all of them came from just one seed. I start from one model which was developed together with the group that I'm working right now in my PhD. From that model, and for the criticism from the discussions that we had about that initial models, I start to go on and to improve, and so create different flavors of the same kind of model. So on this first video, I'm going to present you the first excerpt, the first selection of the paper, and on the other video I'll do the same. So I have chosen the strategy because I believe it's one way to discuss the paper that I consider important. So mainly the paper is a discussion of Ghrelin, which is a quite hormone, as I mentioned before, Ghrelin, and also there's a second one is called leptin, which I'm not going to discuss here, but leptin has been found some correlation as well insulin. The fact that insulin has a reciprocal behavior compared to Ghrelin, and the leptin somehow was found in some experiment that it has a behavior that has a synchronization between the falling down of Ghrelin and leptin after meal. However, Ghrelin is more noticeable. It's more easy to see the percentage of the falling down because of the meal is more accentuated. Adiposity is well known to be one of the reservoir controlled by leptin, and so it is even a kind one of the reason I have selected this paper, that it's a kind of surprise. Initially, all the paper I was reading was talking about Ghrelin as a appetite controller. So this one saying that Ghrelin is a adiposity controller is a different idea. So that this paper is extremely cited in the literature. So most of the work that you find about Ghrelin you have a high probability that they are going to make a citation to this paper. The result derived by the paper is for rodent, mice, and so it's not for humans. So in order to make this application in a mathematical model, if you wanted to make the extension to human, we need to make the assumption that that in that case that our adipose tissue has similar behavior of rodents. So the first excerpt is that the Ghrelin work as an edge of a network. So basically, you can think like this: you have a node, and the Ghrelin is the one that makes this connection to happen. And as we're going to see, this connection you are talking about is between the stomach, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is a twin. There are two that is located below the hypothalamus in the brain, and it is a quite important gland that produces several hormones that's important for control of the body, and it is mainly controlled by the hypothalamus. So it gives you the suggestion that the Ghrelin has play a central role on energy regulation. And it is even so, it's a very interesting point of view that, as I'm going to see maybe in the other slides, that this regulation of energy played by Ghrelin here is very important, because in general you find that Ghrelin is a very important control of appetite, which is a short-term behavior of human behavior. Regulation of energy is a long-term. So in this case you are seeing that the Ghrelin is working in the same time scale of the leptin. So here you have a big connection of the leptin and Ghrelin, as you are going to see in the other videos, in the other excerpts from the same paper. So we are going to see that it's even curious to understand which is not yet completely understood exactly how Ghrelin work on the adipose tissue. Since leptin is produced by adipose tissue, and leptin is a measure of adiposity, it's a measure of fat concentration, of amount of fat of someone. So it means in simple ideas that somehow Ghrelin and leptin must be correlated, because both of them are connected by a single point, which is the adiposity. One is produced, which is leptin, and the second one can influence, which is Ghrelin, and we are going to discuss that in the next videos. So I hope that it's possible to learn something from this paper. As you saw before, this paper was published in 2000, so it has been more than 15 years, and after that many other papers were published. So maybe they have already found new ideas regarding this detail that is not very clear. So the picture that we are up to see, you have two arrows. One is continuous, the other is dotted. The continuous one is to represent direct control. Direct control means that you have a physical entity moving. In this case, it's Ghrelin that moves from the stomach to the hypothalamus and makes the control. So in the indirect control, which is represented by the dot line, we have some kind of nervous system, such as sympathetic system. You have something that works not by physical entity, there's no hormone moving, such as in the brain have connection and so on. So in that case we have two kind of control, which is represented by the continuous line and by the dot line. So here is by thinking about that that the excerpt that you saw before, you can arrive to this graph. This graph is not from the paper, it's my own interpretation of the excerpt, so it's my own interpretation. So you should know that it's not something that was derived by the paper. So here on this graph you have three nodes. You have the stomach, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is controlled by the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus is controlled by the stomach. So there's even the possibility, which is nothing that's confirmed by the paper. Neither I was able to find so far a stronger evidence, but I think it's supposed, in order for you to if you keep just this kind of loop like this, we have something. It seems to me unstable, because somehow I believe that the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus should be able to influence the stomach by creating such as sensation of satiety or kind of feeling of fullness. So somehow you need a feedback from the stomach, a feedback from the pituitary gland, and a feedback from the hypothalamus, and that's why I have added this dot line in the this expression, but it is not it's not defending the paper, so it is my own interpretation of that. So if this three node network is true, we can easily make a mathematical model for that. So, but now the question is whether it's true or not true, and it's something that it's my challenge to go on trying to make this question.